Sophie Turner as Lara Croft. Hopefully, yeah, she lives up to Angelina Jolie and Alicia Vikander, because I feel like Alicia Vikander could have done a bit more. They could have done more with her, but yeah, Sophie Turner is a
What's
great actress.
what's so funny, Manu?
What
Nothing.
were you?
Sorry, I was.
What? Manu, come on, spill it, Manu. What do you got to say? You don't like Sophie
Nothing.
Turner,
Nothing. I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry. Very unprofessional of me.
or is she not up to par to Angelina Jolie and
No,
Alicia
no, no.
Vikander?
Is
Is
it,
that
do,
it?
you, do you have a problem with a woman playing Lara Croft for once?
Hold on. What the
As
fuck
opposed
does
to
that
what?
mean?
I don't know.
Oh my
As opposed to who?
I don't know. Jason Momoa? No.
Oh yeah, he was born to play Lara Croft.
Yeah.
But yeah. Hey everybody, this is episode 20 of Not Quite High Score. You are joined by me, Jazz. We have the very lovely and always smiling Manu. That's going to be yeah. You want to say anything, Manu?
Hello.
Hi. We also have the emo for whatever reason, Manny. Manny, do you want to say anything sad to the public?
Say something
be-
emo.
I will be killing myself after this.
Oh my god.
If we
Guys,
don't get
you
at least
heard it.
2
You heard it,
views-
guys. You heard it here first. Episode 22 is gonna be a banger.
I'll let you.
And then we have Taz that just freshly did some laundry and
I just finished applying a condom to my mic.
How was it, Taz? Was it smooth?
I'm a little hard.
Taz is trying to get a sponsorship from a fabric soft company.
Hey, man.
Oh my god.
I'm downy soft, but I ain't downy soft. You know what I mean? Is this better with the filter, by the way?
100%.
Okay, Carol, just calm yourself, all right? Shit, you have to fucking just say it. Don't spray it.
Always picking on Taz.
You want me
Yeah,
to
I
just
keep-
do it now?
I
I'll
keep
find a
telling
rope.
myself, I mentally keep telling myself, stop swearing. I can't do it.
Yeah, I've been trying
You
to do that
guys,
as well.
you
You
guys
are
bring
with
out the
child.
worst in me.
You are with
Trying to make
child,
a
Taz.
rock
Come on.
bleed. It's not something you can do. Or in your case, can't do.
I don't
And
know,
we talk
man.
about video games, everybody.
Sometimes.
Sometimes. So what have you guys been playing? You guys have been updating a lot of your stashed games you've started and finished and all that. So you guys have been.
I haven't opened that app in so long. Well, part of the reason, okay, so a lot of apps on my phone just sort of uninstalled themselves to make space, because at this point my phone is 80% photos of my kid, and I've become one of those people.
Mm.
Yeah, I had to start deleting photos, and then eventually I gave up because there's 6,000 of them, and literal 6,000. And so then I was just like, fuck it, iCloud, you can have my photos, because I don't know what to get rid of anymore.
So you bought more
And
storage?
so, well, I mean, I already had that 200 gig plan. Now I'm just using actual gigs as opposed to a little bit here and there, because I keep storing all my photos on my phone. But yeah, man, I've become one of those people. But yeah, so that thing just uninstalled itself, stash, and then eventually I looked at it and I was like, I'm too lazy to reinstall this and figure out what my login was.
Come on, man.
The bar is so low for just to
Seriously,
get that app.
you have
back.
one email. What do you
Story
mean?
of my life, man.
You've
Shit.
had that same email for as long as I could remember. Back in your
I actually
logins,
have-
we used to log in with
I
that
have 3 emails that I use for different purposes, for different whatever situations where I need to provide an email. And so it's guessing which one of those 3 it is, and then which password. And I'm too lazy to do it. I mean, I will at some point, maybe, you know.
See, this would have been a lot more convincing if you're like, oh, I have a dozen emails and crazy extravagant passwords, but you're like, no, I just got 3 emails to choose from.
I got 3 emails, and I mean, to be fair, I got 12 variations of the same password that I've had since 1997. So
Don't you have a password manager?
I've started using the one on my phone.
Yeah,
It's
on
a
iOS.
godsend. Holy shit.
It's amazing. Yeah. And now they have this thing called passkeys, and I'm like, what the hell is this? But it works.
You know, when we used to work at Apple and these like people would come in and to service their phone, I'm like, okay, I need you to enter your Apple ID, and like no one remembered, and their main excuse is to be like, oh, there's like a password for everything these days, and I'd be like, okay, whatever, you're just fucking old and your memory is shit, man. There's just too many passwords and too many
There
accounts for
are.
everything now. We've reached that point now. Like I don't want to do it anymore. Everything requires a fucking email and a username and a password. And it's just like, leave me alone. Just
In that
work.
same vein, I feel like everything now needs a fucking app to work.
Yeah.
Do you ever get that impression? Like, so we have like a bunch of different smart switches. If we don't get the same brand switches, we need to get a different app for that. I wanted to use the running machine, like the walking pad with like Zwift or something, which is a game, which is kind of relevant, I guess. But they're like, first you gotta download the app for it, and then you can connect to another app, which is incredibly redundant for no fucking reason.
Why are you even connecting your app to that shit? Just fucking get on it and start walking. I mean, let's be real here.
I want to
There you go.
pretend like I'm walking in Japan.
Ugh.
I mean, it doesn't matter. You're gonna kill yourself after this anyways.
Okay, so what have you guys been playing?
I'll tell you what, I'll tell you what I've been playing. And I want to ask a question to the collective internet. And it's a very simple and quick question. And that is, what the fuck is wrong with you? Assassin's Creed Shadows is so fucking good. That game is so good. And I'm going to say it again. It's so good. It's so fucking good. It's incredible. Holy fuck. What a great game. I fucking love this game. I wish I'd bought it at launch. It is such a good game. What the fuck?
How far are you into
I
the
need
game?
to stop swearing. Honestly, so I've put in, I'm probably at like 21, 22 hours at least right now. I haven't done shit for the story. I
Okay.
did the prologue, whatever, the epilogue at the beginning, and that's it. And then I started controlling Naue, and I have just been clearing the map, doing watchtowers, forts, whatever. The stealth is so fun in this game, dude. They actually like injected some Splinter Cell into this where you're playing with the lighting, you're staying in the shadows, and like obviously it makes sense because you're a shinobi or whatever, so that's what they do. But just the ways that you can like put out lights and make it dark and stay in the shadows and then go prone and get in the bushes to stay out of sight and use your shurikens to shoot out lights and whatever. Like it's just, I'm having so much fun taking like an hour to clear a fort because I want to do it without being seen.
Well, so Jazz, you had played, and I think I'm not sure if you finished or you had dropped the game, but it's like,
I finished it. Yeah.
okay. So, were there any gripes with your experience that maybe you can bring up now that maybe Taz like sees it in a different light?
No, I mean, I agree with everything that Taz says, and it doesn't surprise me that he hasn't moved forward in the story because to me, the story is the weakest part of the game. It's not a great story, honestly. It's really not. And then you get to the end, and you're like, wait, that's it? Like that's how it ends? It's just really weird.
And I'm okay with that. When I went,
What? Yeah.
I think anyone going into an Assassin's Creed game these days expecting
Well,
some
first,
crazy story is a
yeah,
fool.
yeah, and honestly, like I really focus on Naue, who's the so I think of yeah, she's a kunoichi, which is a female shinobi, and you can also play as Yasuke, and he's like an African samurai. Yasuke is pretty badass too, Taz. Like I mean, definitely give him a chance. Like I mean, but he's not stealth at all, right? Like he's kind of like guns a blazing, kicks doors down and just kind of slashes everyone.
Yeah, I mean the
Uh,
little bit that I played of him in the beginning of the game is sort of like if you run towards a door, he'll smash through it, and I'm like, all right, cool, I guess. When I want to play something like that, I definitely will pick him, but
yeah.
I haven't even unlocked him yet, like in terms of the story. Like I haven't gotten even far enough with Naue to
His
get to a point where I actually play as Yasuke again. I did like the first story mission where you leave your village or whatever, and that's it. And I get the
His
feeling that
introduction is yeah, but his introduction is amazing. Do you remember like with the music playing in the back and everything? Like it
okay.
just felt very theatrical. It was
Okay,
insane.
so I get shit for this, but I couldn't have the sound on for that portion.
Oh,
Oh my
dude,
god.
come on, that's the best
What do you
part.
want? I
Okay,
can
hold
either
on.
choose to play a game with no sound or not play a
Come
game at
on,
all.
man,
So okay, hold
dude.
on. You said you couldn't. What's your excuse?
I don't remember, but I couldn't. I
Dude, that's
legitimately
like
don't recall.
it's half the reason why that whole
Oh,
introduction
okay,
is
no,
amazing.
I do remember. I did actually I had the sound on partially, but this was when I got the walking thing, and I was like, "I'm gonna walk, and I'm gonna start playing Assassin's Creed at the same time." And the only time that I played with him was the very beginning of the game, which I guess, or I'm hoping that's what you're talking about. And at that
Yeah.
point, the treadmill just kinda drowned out any of the audio. So I was just basically reading subtitles for the first portion.
Ugh, yeah. Okay.
The
But
bar is so low.
anyways, game
I'm
is
curious
good,
to know what
man.
Game is
you. I'm
good. Game
curious.
is good.
Okay.
I'm curious to know what you think of the game once you get to the samurai portion of what's his name, Yasuke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's get to that portion of the game because I mean I don't know. I quickly checked the score though. An Open Critic is sitting with an 80, so which is pretty good.
Yeah, but it's just
Um,
like the discourse seemed to be a lot of people just there's a lot that they didn't like when the game came out and the whole Yasuke thing. And I'm like, okay, cool. But if I'm playing this much as Naue and having a great time, like I don't understand. And honestly, with the amount of fights in this game and the fact that Naue is comparatively to someone like I forget the protagonist's name and like let's say AC Odyssey, she's pretty weak. Two, three like good hits and you're dead.
Hmm.
So, she relies a lot on timed dodges, timed parrying. So that also kind of makes it really fun to play as her. So, I'm sure when I get to Yasuke and I get whatever abilities he has to fucking, smash face. Like I think the contrast is something I didn't think I would enjoy, but now having played this much as Naue and then seeing what kind of battles and what kind of situations this game does come up with, I'm looking forward to kind of flipping the script and playing as Yasuke and just going full smash on everything.
okay,
And
yeah,
I
I'd be
think it
curious to know.
deserves the score. I think 81 is a pretty solid score because it doesn't reinvent the wheel either. It's just the same
It
old
doesn't.
thing either.
But again, it's a game of expectations too. Like you shouldn't be
Yep.
going into an Assassin's Creed now looking for some amazing story. Like for all intents and purposes, they fully dropped this this whole thing where you're like a human outside the animus and
Hmm.
there's like a whole story going on that portion versus what's happening within the machine. So I mean so far anyways, like even from the start there's like a voice guiding you, but there's been no scenes outside of the animus. Which honestly I'm okay with it. Like I don't really care. It was cool way back and through Assassin's Creed, 1, 2, and 3 and a little bit, I guess, through like Black Flag when they started changing it around a little bit more. But generally speaking, like that that portion of the story is never even on my mind when I'm thinking of an Assassin's Creed game. For me, it's just clearing forts, clearing the map, getting into all these cool fights, assassinating people left, right, and center. And like this game is gorgeous too, man. Holy shit. There's times where you just stop and you look around and I'm honestly just like amazed at the level of detail in the world.
Well, if you can't enjoy the music, at least you can enjoy the scenery.
Actually, so I was playing blind for a bit. No. Yeah, no, for sure. It's I mean, honestly, like I would 100% recommend this to anyone that's looking for an Assassin's Creed game. Like in terms of my favorite ones, this one is definitely up there with actually both Odyssey and Origins. I think those were also two very, very good games.
Yeah, or the best in the series. Well, after the open world, I guess you'd say.
Yeah. But AC aside, actually, we also rolled credits on Blueprints, which
Nice.
like, I think deep, I'm sure, and I don't know if you guys have played it as well, but you very well know once you roll credits, this game is not over in the slightest.
Hmm.
Um, so I was playing this the entire time with my wife, who doesn't like whatever she plays games, but I don't think I've ever seen her get into one as much as this. Like this was very much the first time I've seen her be like, okay, so we just put the kid to sleep. Like, okay, let's do it. Bust out the notebook. You ready to play Blueprints? Like she's super excited to play it because like she loves these kinds of puzzles and just using her brain to kind of whatever solve her way through it. And just she had a fantastic time. And then by proxy, I mean I had a great time with it too. I would have not have gotten close to finishing it if not for her. Like she was the total brains of this fucking operation. But I mean, overall fun. The puzzles in this game, holy shit, dude! Like
When
all
it all
the
starts to click together, like you have your notes and like you figure out where things go, it is oddly satisfying.
dude, our notebook looks like the scribblings of an absolute psychopath. Like it's just you start off the game and you're playing and you're like, okay, so that this looks cool, but you're not quite sure. You know that you should be taking notes based on what you've heard, but you don't know what exactly you should be looking at or what sort of things you should be taking note of.
Mhm.
And then as you progress, you're like, oh, okay, hold on. And then you bust out your book and you start just like looking around every room and you're like, okay, so this, that. And then eventually there's always something that's a piece to whatever other puzzle, either, down the line or early on. And it's just, there's so much to discover at every turn. Some of these puzzles are absolutely fucking asinine in terms of figuring stuff out. Like it's crazy. And then you're so satisfied once you do kind of figure out the solution. And so it's always one of those, like, sometimes it's really not obvious, other times it should have been obvious, but either way, like, just super super fun game. Very,
Mhm.
it's I would highly recommend playing it as a pair. Like, I played it with her because you said you had a great time playing it with Natalie. And yeah, great call. Like, honestly, if you're someone that's, you know that you play games and and your significant other doesn't normally play them, this is like
Mhm.
the perfect thing to do together.
And now that you guys are done, are you going into it with like with trying to like complete runs faster, or is it just the same old like doing
I
more
don't know.
runs,
I
or is it
think
like
I
figuring
think
out
for her
missing
especially
pieces?
too, I think for her especially too, like the main goal is done. And
Mhm.
now it's just like figuring out mysteries. And I think we're done with it. I think now I just want to know what is like the solution, or what the kind of, because there's like a whole story behind the story in this game as well. So as you're, like, you know what I mean, like as you're discovering the world, there's like lore to it that you're kind of reading up on in bits and pieces, and you discover that there's more happening around you than just simply the goal that the game has given you.
Mhm.
So like that kind of thing I've been wanting to know more about, and just like certain solutions that I know we missed, or like puzzles that I know, you know what I mean? Like, when you see something and you're like, I know this is something. There's no way that this would be here for no reason, but you don't. There's no reason to suspect just yet. It's
Yeah.
just like a gut feeling, and so I want to kind of read up more on that. But I think we're kind of done with it in terms of playing it. But I did. There is another game that came out, I think, last year called The Seance of Blake Manor, which is it's like a
Heard of
murder mystery game where you're a detective. And so I picked that up recently on a Steam sale, so I think I'm gonna start that up with her
nice.
in the next couple days, and we'll see how that goes. When you got to the like, one of the rooms was the billiards room, right? So it had the dartboard.
Yeah.
When you first interacted with that dartboard, did you have any idea what you were doing?
No idea. Um, it was like trial and error, and then when I figured out what worked, we kind of like worked backwards. Like, okay, so this was we got the answer with this when it was these two things. Why is that? And so we kind of figured it out that way.
So did you looked at it for like 30 seconds and was like, try this, and she just figured it out. And I was like, and I looked at her and I'm like, what the hell? Yeah, and then afterwards, for the entire 25 hours, I would just go to the dartboard and I would just wait for her to tell me what number. Like, I knew, I knew, I knew what it was, but I never bothered to work it in my head because I was like, I don't need to.
Funny
And
enough, it was the same thing for Natalie and myself. That we just get there, she's like, "All right, see you," and she like hands me the controller.
yeah, no, that's a very, very fun game, man. Honestly, I kept hearing all the praise and stuff, and it, just sort of reading up on what this game was. I was convinced I was never gonna play this, and if I did ever play it, it was gonna be one of those, like, check it out for like an hour and then realize that I'm too stupid for it and then move on. And I'm glad I gave it the chance with her, especially. And no, it was really fun.
Nice.
I'm really looking
What about you
forward
two?
to actually playing Blueprints with Samantha, but we're trying to get through Donkey Kong, and
Well, two
it's
very
getting to
similar games.
well, no, but like Donkey Kong is like I'm getting to a point where I don't know if it's just me with video games in general, but I'm getting to a point where I'm getting annoyed with how much shit there is to do, and I'm just beelining it for the end.
Is it
Because
is it
Donkey,
because there's no parry mechanic in this game? And
it's not that. It's just because the the game itself is fun. It's very unique. Obviously, it's Nintendo, but the game has a lot of the maps are very they're very fun maps, and there's a lot of like bananas hidden throughout the world, but you're not really incentivized to go get them because the upgrades you get are not really worth hunting for the bananas. So if you start, so the first three levels, Samantha and I, we try to get every single banana, but by the end of it, we're just exhausted because there we didn't get anything from it. So that's why
think
as
it's
soon
more
as we,
for like just having that little progression thing go to 100%.
yeah,
Yeah. But
so
then
as soon as
also
we're done,
that's the type of gamer you are though. Like let's be honest, you if there is a chance to 100% it and it's not super crazy like trying to get 900 Koroks, I feel like you would go out of your way to usually get everything.
yeah, but I think this is equivalent to getting 900 Koroks because
Okay.
I think there's over 900 bananas. Um,
Okay.
but yeah, I'm really looking forward to finishing this so we can actually play Blueprints because you see, I've heard how much you loved it with Aditi, and so
Oh,
yeah.
so
Would you?
Natalie's and my experience was jack shit, but the one with Tazan really enjoys it,
I
I
mean,
Oh no,
guess.
I just
let's be honest. I mean,
complimented.
come on. It's like, you know,
Go ahead.
you're you. For me
That's
to
what
like this game, means more than for you to like this game.
To be fair, yeah.
It's like me saying, "Yo, I read this manga and it's amazing," and and you're all gonna be like, "Holy shit, what the hell did this guy read that he liked?"
It's a good
fair,
point, yeah.
fair enough. What about you, Jazz?
Wait, would you be more inclined to go and get all 900 bananas if there was an achievement attached?
No, I don't give a fuck.
What if it was the only achievement that you were missing?
I would probably do
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, on my side, well, yeah, I just rolled the credits on Resident Evil Village. Amazing game. I think you guys saw me play and maybe heard me squeal a little
Squirt.
bit.
Squirm, squeal.
Yeah, okay. All those things. It's really really well done. Again, the atmosphere of the game is the thing that got me hooked. And what I actually loved about the game, I don't know. I mean, Manny, I was gonna talk to you about it, but you chickened out the moment that you saw, the mother show up. So can't
No, I did the
really.
mother part.
So what I do like about the game though is like every single area has this, is distinct, right? So like there's this
Mhm.
one part of the game where you don't have any weapons and you're just kind of you're trying to escape this mansion, right? And which is very distinct to the another part where you're inside this factory and then you kind of find out a little bit about the game and about how this village came through. So again, I was very very surprised at how distinct each level was and how distinct each boss were as well. So it was a good ride, and it actually triggered an itch because now I kind of feel like going back. Well, I feel like going now and playing the remakes. So I'm not sure which one I want to start with because I know that there's Resident Evil 2, 3, and 4 remakes that are out yet. But yeah, so loving the action horror mix and just now debating to see which game I'd want to jump to. But yeah, it was a great game. Totally 100% recommend it. And I mean, I don't know if any of you guys are maybe. I think maybe Taz is probably the only one that's played a Resident Evil game. Um, did you play one of the remakes, or was it just like straight up like the old school ones?
Well, I think the only one I've ever completed was 4 back on the GameCube.
Oh shit, okay.
I started 2 Remake, and then I just got caught up in other games, but what I played of 2 Remake was very fun, so I am gonna eventually get back to it and complete that game.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to be a completionist, you can definitely get like 35, 40 hours from these types of games. But I finished it in under 13, and again, I explored as much as I wanted to, but at some point, there's a long list of games, and I know that Manny recommended, or at least the challenge was for me to play Moonlighter. So I started playing Moonlighter, not super far in the game, but I did like kind of ask a couple of questions to Manny. But yeah, really, really enjoying that game. It's funny because like the way I look at it, it's kind of like as if like Link had to pay rent, So essentially like, during the
Yeah.
day, he's kind of like, he's a shopkeeper, right? So he's kind of has to like, take care of a shop, sell monster parts or and all the stuff that he finds in the dungeon by day, and at night he goes and he, crawls these dungeons.
Well,
Um
so one of the main reasons I recommend this game for you, it wasn't just for the roguelike elements or kind of like the It's like it's a Titan Soul Light. I think the other reason why, because I know you don't really play cozy games, and so this is partially like a dungeon crawler, but it's also partially a cozy game of sorts when you're like trying
I would have called
running the
this a
shop.
cozy game.
Yeah, I wouldn't have called it cozy
Part of it,
The
either.
shop
during the shop
portion,
system, yeah, I
it's
think
not
so.
sure. It's a stretch.
I,
It's a
I'm,
stretch.
But
It's a
yeah,
stretch,
mm,
but I get it. I mean, and I like the whole Price is Right mini game, I guess, and like I mean, it's kind of it's satisfying, right? It's satisfying to be guessing the price of an item, and then you see like their face light up, and then you see like the dollar, for the eyes, and you're like, oh shit,
mhm.
I got a perfect. And honestly, very quickly, and again, like I'm only like 30 minutes into the game, but I already gotten the achievement for like getting 20 perfect prices or whatever the achievement is. So it's great. Again, like I definitely have to like open up the menu quite often and sift through his journal and kind of make sure that like I'm setting the right prices and making sure that I'm not underpricing a rare item. So I've been like googling like, oh, should I sell this, should I do that? So it's great. Like I feel like I rarely go and I look for tips for games. I just kind of jump in. But this game, I felt that it was pretty interesting to see different varying opinions about how you should play the game and how you should kind of uh, go about this. Again, Price is Right mini game aspect of it, but same thing. Like the whole dungeon crawling is really fun too. Like I said, it's something that I just started today, but super, I'm definitely enjoying it, and I'm actually I didn't even know that Moonlighter 2 was out and that it was a complete different style as well.
Yeah.
Like I didn't
mhm.
realize that it was like a 3D game now and whatnot. So yeah, I don't know if anyone has played that game, but
Played the
if I really
demo and I can't say I was a fan, honestly.
I
interesting, did you
had
did you
the
play the first one
opposite
though?
reaction.
Yeah, but I'm like, did you guys all play the first one?
Hmm.
I think so.
Yeah,
Okay,
I
Yeah,
do
I
have
love
so
the
Moonlighter
first
2
one.
on Steam, by the way, if you
yeah, and do you
whatever you
guys
want.
remember like how many hours you might have put in the first game?
Not at all.
I was playing on the Switch, so I don't remember.
Yeah.
I don't
Gotcha.
know. Take a look at my Steam account, but I think it was probably like 20 or something.
Yeah, but yeah, it's
Mm,
I'm really enjoying it. So it's a good it was a good suggestion. But that's it. That's all I'm playing.
Nice.
And I've added the Seance of Blake Manor. It sounds pretty good. I didn't realize that Steam has a demo for it, so I just downloaded it.
On my end, I don't really have many games. Like I've been playing random games. Like I tried a bit of No Man's Sky. I've been trying dabbling a bit with Ragnarok Online and now Maple Story and the private servers classic.
Ragnarok Online.
Yeah.
God.
So I've
You
just
started
kind of been
playing it
like
again?
a tiny bit. I'm kind of just going down the like nostalgia trip right now. So it's like nothing concrete, nothing to really talk
Hmm.
about. So I guess we can kind of just jump into our first news, which is the Xbox Developer Direct. So they just showcased 4 games, kind of similar to how they did last year. So they showed us Forza 6, Fable, Beast of Reincarnation by Game Freak, and Kiln by Double Fine Productions. So I guess we can start with Playground's 2 games, Forza 6, and then Fable. So
Yeah, let's do it.
yeah, okay.
I'm
Sure.
has I don't know if anyone has ever played the like the older Forza games, but I got a chance to play Forza Horizon 5 a lot with my little cousin. He's a big fan of cars, so got to play that game a lot because of him. But and I'm glad that I got introduced to it. It was so much fun. It's a racing game, yeah, but the game is just beautiful. So sometimes it's just like just stopping, going into the camera mode, and just seeing these sceneries. Is just beautiful. So the fact that this game is set in Japan and you get to see Hokkaido and Mount Fuji, um, you're gonna be racing, yeah, but you're also gonna be distracted by like all the sceneries you're gonna see, and the level of detail that they've added to this game, like
Mhm.
just not into the cars, but like I said, the environment itself, the fact that the game like comes with 550 cars, like new cars and old as well. I feel like it's super cool. So yeah, like that's kind of like the vibe that I got. At one point, they were showing the accessibility feature. I don't know if you guys remember that, but like people that have I guess issues distinguishing colors. Well, I was gonna say colorblind people, but I don't know if it goes further than that. But that too, like just them focusing on like these features is pretty neat, and it feels like there's also like a more of a social aspect to this game, right? You
Mhm.
can go and visit other people's garages, so not only can you customize your cars, but now you can also customize your garage as well.
Yeah, like
Um,
so they're calling it the estate. So you start off with your garage, and you just
yeah,
kind of like have a giant property kind of built on it, which is not what you would usually think when you're thinking like a Forza game, because you're probably thinking like you're just racing among friends. But apparently, can do quite a bit in terms of like building your home.
yeah. It's just because again, like, I remember when I played it, I didn't want to do any of the races or whatever. I just wanted to ride along, right? But it's cool that it's like it's set like in this open world. You can ride, wherever you want, and oh, cool. Like there's a rally going on here, so I can just kind of join in and do this. Or hey, like there's like a ranked match that's happening online. I guess I can join this. It's cool. Like it doesn't kind of force you into it, right? You can just kind of race around if that's what you're into, sure. But if you're also like a hardcore racing fan, you can also kind of just do these events, which I think is pretty cool. But yeah, I mean, if you're a car fan, it's definitely it should definitely be on your radar for sure. I don't know if you guys
I'm
had
for sure gonna check this out. I mean, I had a great time with Horizon 4 and 5.
yeah.
Um, they do a good job of mixing and matching a lot of different race types. The world is always really fun to drive around in. So even if you don't want to necessarily participate in a race, just getting around and just kind of taking in the scenery and, appreciating the world that they've built is always a very fun thing to do. Um, they always have really cool, they call them showcase, I think, events.
Mm,
So I don't remember if this one was in 4 or 5, but it's always an event where like in one of the races, these are like very fantastical races. And they're partially scripted. I mean, they have to be because they almost always end in like a photo finish where you're not sure if you're going to get first or second place. But I remember in one of them, you're racing essentially a train, and in another one, you're racing a hovercraft. At one point, they had like that Halo collab, and you were racing a warthog. Uh, and these are like super fun, races to do, very like almost cinematic. And then they did have a bit of a tease for Gundam in I don't know if this was in the trailer or if it was just like a screenshot that they had released, but it was a car essentially just parked, and then it was clearly a Gundam's feet that it was surrounded by. And so a lot of people are thinking that they might have a showcase in this game where you're doing something with a Gundam. I don't know if you're racing it or what have you, but just
Kind of cool.
it's always cool how regardless of the location that they pick, that they do very cool contextually cultural things. But overall in this, I'm definitely looking forward to playing it. I mean, it looks, Japan is like such a nice setting for
Yeah,
anything really. And so for a Forza game to be there and to be able to, race not only in that scenery, but in those cities, hopefully as well, I think people are gonna really have a fun time with it.
it's like
Oh, that's the
I'm not
Barbato's Gundam.
like you would know immediately which one it is.
It's like, oh
um,
yeah, that pinky toe.
Yeah, I
I'm
sent it in
not
the chat.
sure because like usually if I see a Forza game or announcement, my mind just shuts off. But
Yeah.
maybe it's obviously because it's like set in Japan. I'm like, okay, well maybe I will pay attention to this. But I
Yeah,
was
while
looking
you guys
into
were
it.
talking,
These are really fun driving games for
Yeah,
people that aren't normally into driving games because this is
But
like
like,
it's not sim, right? They're very much sort of sim. It's arcade based in sim in a way,
mhm.
so
but it's
it's
not a
not
fully
a
arcade.
burnout.
Yeah, but that's the thing. It's kind of like
It's a good balance.
it's a good balance,
Yeah.
exactly. Like I mean,
But
you're
like
not.
the because
Yeah.
of the locale itself, it's the first time I've ever been like, well, I kind of do want to check this game out. And if it is a day one Game Pass, that's like incentivizing me just to get it for a month to try out the game, then to see if I want to buy it. Um, One cool thing you Jazz had mentioned was this the locales, and
Mhm.
so like they're adding like a seasonal element to it. So like in Hokkaido, for instance, it snows a lot there, and so they have to dig out their roads. But then the you have these roads are like surrounded by like 10 feet of snow or something like insane like that, and so they showed off an example where you're kind of
Mhm.
driving through these scenarios through these streets, and like that seems like it's a very immersive experience, especially if you've been to Japan, so you kind of like relive those moments.
I mean,
Yeah, no,
I think the changing of seasons was something that they've had in previous games, but
they did. Yeah.
I mean, again, I haven't played them like to that extent to even remember, but either way, I'm looking forward to this one. I'm for sure gonna check it out.
I've never really played a Forza game, but I think because this one is set in Tokyo and because of the way you describe showcases, I might actually pick it up as well.
You just have to say Gundam and Manuzen.
I mean, basically.
I
Let's
wonder
see
if this is something that we can all play. You know, like I mean, just
If Forza Horizon 7 has a Magic the Gathering collab, I think
oh dear
So say
lord,
Manu's
what?
oh
in
dear
for the long
lord,
run.
buy the
Jazz, I think
deluxe
we can
edition.
do like 4 players very easily. We just join each other's races and whatnot.
Yeah, because like I think it's like an open world. We can just kind of drive around and just
Hmm.
shoot the shit. But yeah, like I
Well,
said,
it's
like there's
that and,
I definitely yeah.
I think
Go on.
leaderboards, right? So
Mhm.
in our case, I think we all have a bit of a competitive nature. So if there's a certain track that we're all fighting for the top spot on, I think it could be fun. And I don't know. I mean, I'll be checking it out. I hope you guys do as
Yeah.
well. I mean, even if we don't all race together, I think just having that competitive element to it of trying to one up each other constantly would be a fun time.
Hmm. So another game that they've been working on, which is kind of like Game Freak in a sense, where it's like completely out of their comfort, I guess. So Playgrounds is working on Fable, and we knew that for a while now, but we got to see a more in-depth gameplay of it. They showed us how it's paying homage to the original Fable, and kind of do have. They showed us so, but of the character customization, the combat, the returning enemy races. They showed us the decisions that you have within the game, how it affects the story, and how characters see you. One really cool thing that they showed us was how you interact with the world. So like you can, like in previous Fable games, go ahead and buy as many properties as you like. If you do that, other people are gonna start considering you as a show like a rich tycoon, and therefore they're gonna start seeing you differently. They're gonna think you're some sort of rich snob, and so that's kind of the effect that you're gonna have on the world. Something else, for instance, is your decisions will you make in the story also affect the world. So one of the examples that they had showed us was the main character interacting with this NPC called David, who ends up turning into a giant. So think Jack and the Beanstalk. And so you have the choice of either helping him turn back to normal or you kill him. And then if you kill him, his corpse is there in the overworld, and that has an effect. So how people view you, and also how that's going to affect like the housing around that. So it's going to diminish house values, for instance. And they really seem to be putting a lot of love into this game. For and another and a case of that is like, so there's apparently about 1,000 npcs in this that aren't just generated. So um, they have fully voiced interactions that you can do, and you can romance, from what I remember, like most of them.
All of them,
So
apparently.
All of yeah.
So yeah, I was reading an interview on IGN that they had with the developers, and supposedly every one of these NPCs, you could romance them, you could marry them, you can have kids with them. Uh, you could buy obviously pretty much every building
mhm.
in the town.
And each
Uh,
building you can access it as you can access each building as well, and the inside is gonna be like all unique and whatnot. So
yeah, the
yeah,
morality system, I'm happy with the direction that
yeah,
they took it in because it's not just a very black and white. This is good, this is bad.
Yeah.
Everything is sort of
gray.
subjective based on the like on the NPCs in the game. But the other cool thing as well is that your reputation isn't necessarily worldwide. So if you're in one town, if you're just considered a complete asshole, if you go to another town where they don't know you, you can start from scratch and have a completely different reputation there than you do. So it's not like the whole world necessarily hears, and that if you do one bad thing in one town that you're bad everywhere. Um, you can kind of reinvent yourself multiple times over in this game, which I think is really cool.
Hmm.
I've
And
only
like,
ever played the first Fable, but it's crazy to me how much they managed to capture that feeling to the UI, to just to like how the game starts as well. You start as a little boy in a small town and something happens to the town. But like the sense of humor,
mhm.
they seem to be nailing it. And I don't know if
Going
I'm the only one
British for the sense of humor, I think, was probably the best call that they could make. I
yeah.
think it definitely, I mean, I love British humor. I love all these British TV shows. I mean, Richard Ayade, who plays what was the name? David was the NPC
David,
you
yeah.
said? Yeah, so, I've been I mean, I watched him forever ago on the IT Crowd, and he's been on a
Hmm.
couple of other shows and stuff too. And like just that level of humor, I think is perfect for a game like this, for a game world like this.
Yeah,
And
it's a world that doesn't really, besides certain moments, for the most part, especially in the overworld, it's not a game that really takes itself seriously often with some of their side
I
quests.
mean, yeah, it's all very cheeky humor. Um, God, what was another thing that I wanted to say? I lost my train of thought.
Well, while
Right.
you're
It
thinking,
reminds me a lot of the first Fable in the sense that I remember when the first Fable was coming out, and there was always all these interviews with Peter Molyneux, whether it was in magazines or online, and you're reading about all these promises that he's making and all that stuff, and you're just like very excited, right? Like, oh, you could plant an acorn at some point in the game, and then you can come back to it like whatever X amount of time later, and it's turned into a tree, and if you hit a tree in the game with your sword, that mark stays there forever. And back then, this is like OG Xbox. You're like, oh shit, this is all really cool, bro, like groundbreaking stuff.
Mhm.
And I'm feeling that same level of excitement for this game. Like I'm optimistic for it with everything that they're saying, but then at the same time, I feel like there's these promises of like, oh yeah, it's 1,000 NPCs and they're all voiced and you can romance them all and they all have their own sort of daily routine. So you could pick whatever NPC you want and follow them around and they go to work and they do this and they do that. And then, there's a lot of like things being said that I'm like, I guess from a technological standpoint, we're probably there now that this very much could be true, but you're still sort of it's just funny that juxtaposition between everything being promised in this game by Playground versus everything when the first Fable came out that was promised by Peter. But I mean, in the end, when that game came out, you know, I think the general consensus was not what we were promised, but great game nonetheless. And I think that
Mhm.
this game, at the very least, will be the same. So even if everything that they showed isn't exactly what the final product turns out to be necessarily, I think based on what I saw, I believe that it'll still at least be a good game worth playing.
But that's the thing. So like, if it was any other studio, well, depending on them, like there'd be that hesitation. It's Playgrounds. We've seen their history with Horizon, even though they built the brand new team for this game from the ground up. Um, they have that track record of paying attention to details, fulfilling their promises, and so I think having a
I
bit
mean,
of
they seem to mentally know, like they seem to know what is needed, right? So again, in
yeah.
that interview, one of the things that the guy brought up was, well, how big is Albion gonna be as a world to explore? And and the developer brought up a good point. He's like, look, we come from Forza, we know how to make a world that's very good. But he's like, one of the first tests that we did when we started working on this game was we created a Fable character and we put him in the Forza world just to walk around with him and see what that's like. And he's like, we immediately realized that there's nothing to do because this world is made to be explored at like 250 miles an hour, whereas something with Fable is you're obviously going at maximum speed of horse, but also you're going to slow down, you're going to look around, there's
Mhm.
places to go, there's people to talk to, buildings to go inside of and stuff. So he's like, we wanted to essentially make a world that's maybe not massive but densely populated with both people and things to do, and just to make it like an actual living breathing world. And I think that's exactly what I wanted to hear from a developer when it comes to creating a world like this. So I'm glad that they chose to maybe scale back on the, you know, explorable kilometers and actually deal more with sort of density of things to do and
Well,
things to
often we
see.
get lost in the like map comparison between games, but like if there's nothing to do in between, it's not really worthwhile, right? So it's like comparing Skyrim to this, for instance. Skyrim, it's a big map. There's not much in between destinations.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm excited for this, man. I think a lot of people are. The consensus online generally seems to
yeah,
be very positive around this game, and people are sort of really happy with what they're seeing. So
yeah. Even the
I'm
gameplay,
I'm
there's
I'm
like
hoping.
it's like the original Fable, but there's a more modern fluidity to it, which is kind of nice to see. Reminded me a bit of Dragon Age, less flashy, and that's a good thing. So, and they're going back to their traditional like melee, ranged, and magic trio system, so it's kind of nice as well.
Game Freak is making a non-Pokemon game, and it's coming out on a non-Nintendo console.
Are we?
I
I mean,
mean,
okay, yeah. What?
eh,
Wait, well,
and it looks the way that it does. It looks,
yeah.
you know,
I'm
good,
not gonna
or at
lie, I'm
least
more
it.
excited for this than I am for Fable. And I am also extremely excited for Fable. But this game is like right up my alley. Like
Something about the
action
one
adventure.
person, one dog story
It's
type
very
Yeah.
funny.
Emma. Like I'm into it.
I was
But
watching the
like
presentation, and I was like, "That's a Manu ass game."
there's something about the it's nice to see Game Freak branch out, and it almost seems like to me while watching this that they spent a lot of time working on this, and they
Mhm.
could because they had the safety net from the Pokemon games to spend time working on a separate IP, and the results kind of show. Like the gameplays they've shown so far looks really good. It's an action adventure game, but there's elements of you can start at any time. I think in combat you can stop time, and it switches into it almost turn-based RPG kind of type of game where you can select commands for your pet companion. Um, yeah, this game just looks the music. Holy shit, the soundtrack that it showed instantly got me hooked. I know Taz, you weren't listening, but I am like I'm excited.
There's something also to know about the fluidity of the gameplay. If you guys notice, everything is very floral inspired. So the
Hmm.
character's abilities, what they're calling like her special like moves, which are like blooming arts, and like how you kind of use those as well to traverse the world. And so even the enemies that you're fighting are like these animals that have been infected, what they're calling like malfax or something, but which is almost like cursed energy from Jujutsu Kaisen. I don't know. That's how my brain like wrapped it together. But like the enemies look really cool. They look daunting. They look like they're a fun challenge. It almost has like the Souls like element to it as well in terms of like parrying and dodging and like figuring out their patterns.
Well, they
Now
said that Game
imagine,
Freak is known for making monsters
Yeah.
or Pokemons, I guess. So it's not surprising that they would do a
yeah.
good job at designing the enemies and the bosses and the creatures that are in the game.
Are we ever gonna have a Pokemon game like this?
No.
Probably not.
No,
Nintendo's never gonna sign off on something like this.
maybe not, but I have to wonder that if this game comes out and it ends up being a big success,
Yeah.
what does that mean for Game Freak on the Nintendo side? Like, does Nintendo allot them a little more freedom to, do things that they maybe wouldn't have let them do prior? Because now it's sort of like, oh, well, now you know what I mean? Like, is this sort of like you've proven yourselves that you could do something different? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I don't.
Well, it's also like, is it something that translates well into games? Because if you look at the Detective Pikachu movie, like the Pokemon's there looked dangerous. They looked big and scary, which is
But I
not
don't
what you
mean from
really
a
think about.
visual end, right? I mean, I don't know. Like, it's just. I'm guessing. I have to imagine that there is a situation where Game Freak has pitched something to Nintendo and they've refused, but now, you know, maybe now their pitches can be taken either more seriously or, can be revisited if, let's say, this, Beast of Reincarnation comes out and it turns out that, oh shit, Game Freak can make a sick
Mhm.
ass game
Mhm.
that's not Pokemon. Like, if those skills can kind of translate into something that they can use in that franchise to make the improvements that players have been asking for so long.
This is definitely one of those games, like unlike Pokemon games, where we're like, maybe we're hoping we want them to be good, but we're hoping that if they crash and burn, it's a wake up experience for them for Game Freak to make a better Pokemon game, something that runs better. But this is kind of like the on another end, it's like we want Game Freak to really excel with this game because that could mean potential for just everything that they make in general, not just Pokemon.
But I mean, what does
And
it also mean if this game comes out and again it is a big success because it's such a great game and that runs very well? Like, what does that mean for then all those Pokemon games that have come out that basically ran like shit or that didn't
Hard.
offer as
Well, that's
much of an
hardware.
improvement over? I mean,
I don't know
I
if we can
guess,
keep
but
using
It's it.
hardware as an excuse
Yeah,
with
but
the
that's it.
Switch.
but
Yeah.
there's a reason why it's coming out on the Xbox, the PC, and PlayStation only. Like, why isn't it coming on the Switch too?
See, I don't think so. I don't believe that's a valid argument because even if I mean, look at the port for Final Fantasy VII, the Rebirth. Apparently, that's an excellent port that runs extremely well, and that's not exactly a non-intensive game.
I mean, I would judge the next Pokemon game if they were releasing it just on the Switch too and not on the Switch. Because there is something to be said about being limited to making a game that runs on both hardware.
Yeah,
So with that now, why isn't Beast of Reincarnation being released on the Switch too? That I'm not sure.
Like that is kind of surprising to me
Yeah.
that it's releasing on every other console and PC except for the console that they're known to make games for.
I wouldn't be surprised it's because they have to do more work to port it over. I think I do agree with Jaspinner that it's probably a hardware thing. Like Rebirth didn't come out right away on the Switch, right? Like it took even after it came out on PC, like it took a while for it to come on the Switch. and it's probably because they had to optimize the shit out of the
Mhm.
game to make it run well on it, and that's probably one of the reasons why. Like, I think it'll probably come out on the Switch, but it won't be for another year or so.
I mean, maybe,
Um,
but who would know that hardware better than Game Freak,
yeah,
right? So,
but it's
I
I
don't
guess
know.
it's easier to scale down than it is to scale up if you're making like a big game of something like Beast and Reincarnation.
I guess. I mean, I don't know. For me, it's more just, this is obviously a game that's so different from Pokemon that I mean, I'm happy that they're getting to make it, and I'm curious to see. Like, I would love to be in on meetings and shit down the line if this game ends up being,
Mhm.
even remotely an expedition like success.
It's funny you say that though, because I can see this being I can see a prototype. I can see this being a prototype for a Pokemon game, because you have the element of like you're fighting big monsters and you have a companion and you choose moves for them, almost like you do as during the Pokemon battle. But in the middle of that, your character, the trainer, can go and fight. Like, I would have
Yeah,
been
I mean,
surprised if they tried to make a Pokemon game.
we saw elements of that in the new Arceus game, not
Hmm.
Arceus, the new Legends game that came out, ZA, where it's like you are doing that. You are moving around with your Pokemon, fighting another Pokemon, and there is that strategy element to it as well.
Like, I wonder if there's a
Not
world where, let's say, this is a game that this is an idea that Game Freak had pitched Nintendo for Pokemon for a type of game, and then Nintendo said no, and Game Freak was like, "Well, fuck it, we're gonna do it anyways, and we'll
Yeah,
just do it original IP,
Mhm.
and then take more liberties with it because we're not shackled by everything Pokemon."
I mean
And
they
I do
have the
wonder
finances for it.
if that has anything to do with why. Like, I wonder if there's a bigger story, and it's not just like a hardware limitation thing, or an
It
optimization issue.
also has
Why?
to be budget because they're the allotted budget for that game for the last couple Pokemon games, or at least for ZA, was like nothing compared to what a triple A budget, let's say, is. Not that Pokemon is necessarily triple A, but it's also one of, if not the biggest IP in the world. So, like, you would think that you would have more money allotted to make the kind of game that I guess everyone's asking for. Again, I don't
Mhm.
know, but either way, I mean, it looks promising, and happy for Game Freak that they're getting to kind of spread their wings a little bit and work on something other than Pokemon, which
Yeah.
I can only assume that you eventually kind of get tired of. And so if this is especially a new IP, then they're getting to flex their
Yeah.
creative muscles as well as their
Like, if it does well, it's great for Game Freak, but it's also great for the gamers because we have this
yeah.
established company that's kind of
Mhm.
like dipping their toes into something else, and we get to reap the benefits of it as well.
All these games are coming out this year, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. And there was then the final game that they had showed us during the developer direct was Killin. So it's Double Fine Productions. They have made games like fuck, uh,
Psychonauts.
there you go. And
Psychonauts 1
so
and 2. They recently released God, I don't
The
remember the name,
the
but you're playing
tower
that
game, the
yeah, you're playing that walking
yeah,
mhm.
light
lighthouse.
lighthouse.
And so this game is basically a online. They're calling it an online multiplayer pottery party brawler. And so the story behind this game is actually very interesting as well. So they do a thing where the internal staff will pitch ideas for a game, and then they all vote on one, and then they'll stop working on their current titles, and they'll spend the next 3 weeks developing a prototype. And then if everyone's happy with this, if they think they have something on their hands that's worth working into, uh, further developing, then they end up creating this game. And so that's what this game was. I'm not sure if I was looking at this and I was like, I don't think this is something necessarily any of us would be interested in, because in a sea of party games, it doesn't particularly stand out much. But I can understand the appeal for other people. Like, maybe people want to be more creative with their characters. That kind of lets you have that opportunity. But were you guys impressed in any way? Were you guys looking at this being like, yes, I want to play this with the cousins or the whoever?
I I will give it a shot. And this is not the kind of game that I would normally gravitate towards. But that said, I am very happy that it's a game that exists because in the end, it's not just another massively multiplayer online hero shooter, whatever, MOBA, this and that. It just seems like a unique idea that they had that they're running with. I
Hmm.
think this is the kind of thing that we need. It's not just trend chasing. There's no
Yeah.
there's no pottery party game whatever else that I could name, you know what I mean? So like I think even if it's not something that you're normally into, I think we should be encouraging the original ideas and games like this, and especially if it's on Game Pass and we have it. I mean, I'll definitely download it and I'm willing to give it a shot because why not? It's something that's original. It looks fun. Double Fine always nails at the very least the humor in their games. So even if it's not something necessarily that we're going to be playing long term, I think that it's still going to be something we're going to have a good time with.
Yeah. Well put. And like, it, there's something about like I'm not sure if this is just coming from the high of Expedition 33, but it's like whereas there was a project that they wanted to pitch to Ubisoft in their case, the original developer, but they never got that opportunity to because they had to go through
Red
so
tape.
many steps exactly. And so to have a studio like Double Fine where they're kind of enforcing not enforcing they're like promoting idea suggestions within their own team, it's kind of nice to see.
I mean, I think any game that's being made with just creativity at the heart of it versus it being a product that you're wanting to sell a consumer, there's gonna be something to like about it because it's
Yeah.
just they're pouring everything into it and they're you know what I mean? Like it's kind of I mean anything that we ever work on, if it's something that we're super into, we're always gonna you don't even notice the time passing by because you're so into doing it and you want it to be as great as it can be. And I think if that's the mentality that Double Fine has, then again, will this be like a 10 on 10 Mario Party killer? Probably not, but I think people owe it to themselves to give it a shot, encourage
Yeah.
the originality versus, you know, everyone's always complaining whenever they, you see a high guard and you're like, oh, there's another Concord, her, dur, dur. Well, if you're going to complain about that, and then we're always complaining about the fact that people are getting left, like laid off left, right, and center, a studio that's going out of their way to kind of be a good environment for devs and to have an original idea and it being something that's being released, we should be encouraging it.
Switching things up for a company that's doing the polar opposite, that's actually shutting down a lot of their games. Ubisoft is hitting a kind of like a massive reset button. So recently they announced that they're going through like internal changes. They've shut down development on 6 games, and they've delayed 7 other titles to kind of improve their quality benchmarks, as they're putting it. This also, rumors are, includes the supposed Assassin's Creed Black Flag remake, and they've also closed down 2 studios in Halifax and Stockholm. So we shit on we. I feel like we loved here to shit on Ubisoft, and I guess we're not really surprised. This is kind of the state of the company. So is this kind of like an admission on their part that what they've been doing hasn't been working? Like, is this are we surprised at all that this is happening?
I don't think you should be. I think
Yeah.
if ever there was an admission that things aren't working, it's when they decided to spin off all the franchises into like a whole other entity and all that stuff. Because that was the big thing to do. So I think once that happened, and the layoffs were inevitable. So you know, I
I
don't think
mean,
this is surprising news.
it sucks that the studios, like 2 studios, are getting shut down. People are losing some jobs. Um, but at the same time, it's good because it seems like they're not back. Yeah, I'm kind of glad they're backpedaling. They're gonna take a second look at how they make games now, and hopefully we can get better games for Assassin's Creed. I mean, the Prince of Persia remake got axed as well,
Yeah,
but
and apparently that game was like very far into the development. So I like that to me is the biggest surprise because
Like they
there
had
was
to
a
have seen something crazy
mhm.
when they looked at that game to just outright cancel it instead of just letting it release since it was so far in and recouping whatever they could.
Yeah.
Like I wonder if this game is just going to basically be a giant tax write off and that's it.
But also, like, considering the rep that Ubisoft has had recently, I can also understand them trying to like some sort of like PR move to like I don't know, like not have more bad faith. Because if they put a bad product, people are just gonna be like shitting on Ubisoft even more, and that's bad PR for them, right? So, not necessarily sure that's the avenue they want to go. So I can understand them being more uh, s- stingy with the games that they're releasing in a sense because they want to up the quality.
I mean, when they initially revealed the Sands of Time remake, I think overall the internet looked at it and was kind of like, "Ew." And so then they went back to the drawing board with it. So, at least they listened in that regard. And,
Yeah,
I want to believe that they looked at it and they just saw something that wasn't salvageable and that was only going to hurt the Prince of Persia franchise if they released it. So they decided not to, which sucks for the dev team. But I'm hoping that's what it was. It's with these big companies, I mean, it's hard to really think anything positive that, oh, they had anyone's best interest at heart except to their stockholders. But I'm hoping this isn't the death of the Prince of Persia franchise as well, because they did have a really good game with
The
what
Lost
was it?
Crown.
Yeah, the Lost Crown. And they even had that sort of that collab with the Dead Cells studio, I think it was,
Mm,
the Rogue Prince of Persia, which was
yeah,
also, pretty well received. So,
but
it's still a
that was
rel
a
it's
fail. That one was a fail for them apparently.
I mean, yeah, but they also considered Lost Crown a fail. So,
That's true. Yeah.
you know, it's I hope it's not the death of that franchise. I hope that they go ahead and maybe not remake Sands of Time, but just make something new out of it. Because people still give a shit about Prince of Persia, I think.
Is there a possibility you guys think that maybe in like 12 to 18 months someone just comes in and just buys the whole thing? Like is there a world where I don't know,
isn't that one of
10
the
10
companies that
cent.
Tencent?
But that's the
Doesn't
thing
Tencent
because
already have some sort of
well,
grip on them?
Tencent owns like I think a quarter or like 25% of Vantage Studios, and I think Vantage Studios is the one that basically holds Assassin's Creed, Far Cry, and Rainbow Six. So they already own a chunk of the best stuff that Ubisoft, puts out anyways, right? Like, let's face it. I mean, like those three games that I've named are quite fun. And Taz just talked about how much he enjoyed Shadows, and the Far Cry games are great as well. To me, the way I see it is that like it's very possible that a company like Tencent is just waiting for the price to drop like very low or to for them to hit rock bottom before they can just kind of scoop up the rest of the IPs, right? And then just
But
take
that
the
doesn't
company
necessarily
private.
mean that like the future of these franchises are going to be great. Like,
I'm
you know,
just I'm just
Tencent, it's like
I'm just throwing
it's hit
out
or
like
miss. Yeah.
well, I'm just throwing out like a fantasy scenario or like even dream matches. Like if I think of let's say Splinter Cell, like we haven't had a Splinter Cell game in such a long time. But what if like IO Interactive took Splinter Cell and they're like, you know what, we're gonna give this a shot. Like Taz, would you play an IO Interactive Splinter Cell?
I mean, I'll play IO Interactive anything, but
But
I
but
mean,
that's the thing, right? Because
yeah,
like
I think they
they
could do it, but I don't think they're gonna sell these off because I think they know the value of the IPs that they have, and I think that they're gonna give it a go with this whole restructuring that they have. Because now, they've sort of divided the company into these like five, I think it's five, like creative houses,
Mhm.
and each house is in charge of a certain amount of franchises based on what they're specialized in. Which in and of itself, I'd be like, okay, fine, whatever. What does that even mean? But apparently, what it does mean is these creative houses are sort of in charge of themselves, and so that there's less overall management. So now they have more responsibility. And so if you fail, you do have to answer for it. It's no longer like I have an idea or I want to include this or whatever, and it has to go up like fucking 20 different chains of command before
Mhm.
the decision gets like approved. Now it's sort of that house is in charge of it, and if you can't handle it, then I guess UB will go in and do whatever they need to get shit back on track. But otherwise, you know, each of these creative houses has a lot more independent responsibility, which I think is probably a good thing because if there's less red tape, maybe UB can then allow their staff to make something along the lines of not make an expedition, but you know, if that idea was born from this whole I can't pitch this because it'll never get approved because it'll never make its way up UB. Well, if that's no longer an obstacle, then maybe they can produce something that's going to be, revered by gamers again.
But the restructuring sounds great, but I'm wondering what their how that's gonna affect their own personal criteria of what makes a game good. Because like you gave the example of Lost Crown. Among fans, it was considered a massive success. People were really happy to play the game. It did well. There's a lot to love about that game in particular. But in Ubi's own perspective, it was a failure. Even though it sold a lot, it didn't meet their quota. Therefore, they had end up canceling that kind of series. So I'm wondering what, along with this restructuring, if what other changes are they gonna do? Like, and does that also affect budgets for games? Is that lowering it, hiring it? Does that mean like, because like if a game has a massive as a budget, it's harder nowadays to kind of fulfill that, right? In a
Mm.
sea of competitive games.
I'm hoping that
To
they just kind of focus on smaller, not small titles, but smaller than what they have. Because even like, for example, their Assassin's Creed games, like
Mhm.
Shadows, I think is incredible, but I think it would be just as incredible if it wasn't to the scale that it is. Yeah, I don't need these massive maps. I don't need 800 different and like question marks on it for me to
the
go
map is too
explore.
big. It's crazy.
Yeah. And it's just
I
like,
mean,
and that's been a constant complaint, and that somehow that they don't really give a shit, and they keep, you know, Valhalla is a game that I've heard so many people complain that there's so much to do that you're paralyzed with,
Hmm.
when you open the map because you're like, I don't know what to do next because not only is the map absolutely massive, but there's a shit everywhere on it. And it's like your game would be good if you didn't have to do that also. You could make a map that's closer to the size of like whatever Mirage, even if you wanted to, and it can still be a success because people would just want a good game. They don't need, it doesn't have to be 200 hours of content every single time.
that's the thing. To play devil's advocate there a bit, when it comes to an iteration of a game, people, and it's just the expectations we've had growing up. If you consider like games as they come out, it's like you expect them to get bigger and better. And
That
now
doesn't
in this
mean
case,
longer.
bigger doesn't mean better, and necessarily more isn't. You might increase the quantity, but that doesn't mean the quality is better. And I think that's where they struggle with the most.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
also like back then, the size of the map and all that, it used to be a thing that you can tout, like, oh, our map
100%.
is this big because you'd never seen it before, but now I have seen it. And it doesn't hit me the same way anymore if you tell me that this map is twice as big as our previous one. Like, great, that's just more shit for me to go and explore. But in the end, if your map was the same size as, whatever, let's say Mirage, and then I'm going from something like Odyssey to Shadows, and if your map size doesn't improve, but you're giving me the things like in Shadows where I can knock out lights and now I can use darkness to my advantage and I have the
Mhm.
grappling hook and I can hide in the ceiling from enemies that walk into the room and then assassinate them from above and all that stuff. These kinds of meaningful gameplay things are what people are looking for a lot more than just simply here's a map that's gonna take you basically your entire life to the point where like your save file is gonna have to be passed down to your children so they can complete this fucking thing.
Does Shadows have any microtransactions?
Oh, I mean, yeah, of course. Tons.
So my theory is because yeah, like just because I like a franchise. I don't want the next game to necessarily be longer, better, sure, and more innovative, yes, but it doesn't mean longer. But my theory as to why they're making the games bigger and like longer is just so you're seeing the store more often, and so you're more incentivized to spend more money because like hey, I already spent like 200 hours in this game. Why
To
not
their
spend
credit, I haven't been slapped in the face with that store even once. The only
okay.
reason that I even know that there is a store is because I was looking at the options available and I was like, what the hell is this? And I look at it and whatever, it opens and you can check out the ridiculously priced armor that you have absolutely no need for because it's a single player game. So it's not like it doesn't add anything to me, you know what I mean? It's not like something cool for me to wear to a multiplayer match or whatever. But yeah, it's not just like hitting you in the face. And for all intents and
Okay.
purposes, I wouldn't be surprised if there are people out there that weren't even aware that there's a store in this game.
Yeah, I
So
think the
I will give
shadows.
them that. Yeah. So I mean, yeah. Like right now, I'm not even gonna complain about Shadows in terms of like length because I'm enjoying everything that I've played of it so much that if this was 100 hours, I'm gonna be like, I'll play this for 100 hours. But I mean, thinking back to like Valhalla, just don't ever do that again.
Yeah, I don't think I could play an Assassin's Creed game if
I
if
don't
there's
think you
that
would
much
hate
to
it.
do.
I don't
I
think he'd hate it
don't.
either. Yeah.
Yeah, and to be fair, like I don't know the scale of how much Assassin's Creed Shadows has because the map, from what I've seen, it's big, but it's not dauntingly huge. And they only have one DLC that's added like a moderately sized new area, and they said that there's not going to be any more DLC. So if you did want to play it, I think
Okay.
I don't think you'll be as overwhelmed as something like Valhalla, which is you know that's the game that you're gonna like. You need to have kids to be able to finish that game.
Yeah, I put 60 hours in Shadows. At some
I
point,
put
I
like
was like,
I put like
I
20. I
fucked it.
put 20 something, and I don't think I've progressed
Yeah, no,
whatsoever for the
you're
story.
definitely gonna bust 100 hours for sure. The way you're playing, but I did the same thing, and then I was like, what am I doing? Like, I have
Dude, I
other
played
things to play.
Shadows, and then I added Odyssey to my wish list because I was like, I want to play Odyssey again.
It's
And
amazing.
that game, I think I put somewhere close to 100 hours on PS4. I had put another
Yeah,
95 hours on PC, and then I want to go back again and play it because that game was just so good.
I think I remember I think the both of us we were playing that game around the same time, or at least like the same time.
Yeah,
Because
this is
yeah,
during the pandemic.
during the pandemic, yeah, yeah. But it's great. But I don't know. I'm just kind of I guess if you want to finish this off, like I'm just a little bit worried about
I'll finish you
I
off.
guess. Oh my god, I'm just kind of worried. Like, I mean, I don't want another company, to close down. But god damn, man, like, I mean, to me, like, separating them into like these different, you know, whatever you want to call them, like, to me, it's like now or never. It's do or die, essentially.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think that's kind of what it is. I mean, their share
Yeah.
price recently, just the
Holy
articles,
moly!
it's down like 94% from what it was, I think, like a
Now's the
decade
time to
ago.
buy. Now's
Yeah,
the time to
that's what I was gonna
buy.
say. I was like, yeah, if you're gonna buy Ubisoft now's the time because
Yeah, now's the
they've
time.
only got up to go from here. It's
Yeah.
Oh no, they
crazy.
can go further down. They could fuck up
Oh
more.
yeah.
To be
Let's just
honest.
wait for rock bottom. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Anyways.
speaking of rock bottom, Dwight and Michael Scott are coming to Fortnite. I'm
It's
I saw that.
actually I'm actually okay with this. I mean,
the
at this
Michael
point, I
Scarn
mean,
emote is pretty fucking funny though. Like, I gotta say, I don't know if you guys saw
What
it,
was
but
the
like the
emote?
actual emote, the Michael Scarn. Like, have you seen The Office?
I've seen. I don't know what the score is.
Yeah, so the Michael Scarn, because like Michael basically has like a script for a movie that he's been wanting to make for the longest time, and he plays Agent Michael Scarn, and he has like the silly dance like that he does in one of the episodes, because they actually play the movie in one of the in one as an episode, and they
yeah.
actually brought that dance as an emo, which again I saw that and I was like, I shit, like that's actually pretty cool.
I'm
I
down with it. I think it looks fun. Honestly, at
It's
this
so
point, I
stupid. But like even the variations on the
Date
skin are
Mike,
so funny. They
Date Mike is like fucking hilarious. What is like
and like
is beanie? I guess you could,
yeah,
yeah,
and
yeah,
like even Dwight's what like the mask he wears at one
yeah,
point of like the doll, the CPO doll.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't know. It is what it is. I mean, but it's not. It's Fortnite, guys. Like, I think
it's
I wouldn't be surprised if
it's
like
good,
grandma
man. I
if
can't even
grandma
shit
shows
on
up
that
on
game.
Fortnite.
but it's funny how long it's been since The Office ended and how many collabs they've been having recently. Because last year they had a collab with Magic,
But
and
that's because
now
The
Fortnite.
Office. Well, I mean, The Office was very, very popular, sure. But then when it came up on Netflix, a lot of millennials and Gen Zers picked that up, right? So people like I remember even because like I used to listen to The Office Ladies, which is a podcast with Angela and Pam, and they would basically rewatch each episode and bring out guests and whatnot. So you really and they're like, it's so weird seeing like these 12-year-olds being like, oh my god, you're my favorite character, or like I love this episode, and they're like, you were not even born when we did this show. So yeah, like it's the Netflix, like Netflix really really did bring it up and in terms of popularity to like younger folks, but
And that
it
show
doesn't
still
surprise me.
slaps, man. Literally
Yeah, it does.
just last night, we're bored, and I put on the episode where Michael
Dinner
burns
party.
his foot. No, he
Ah,
burns his foot on the George Foreman grill, and that episode is so good, dude.
it's
Then they
ridiculous,
also just
man.
bring back The Office, kind of like a sequel series to it.
Yeah, and it was actually not bad. I expected it to be garbage, and I very much enjoyed it.
Yeah, I think I
So
need to
at
watch
least
that
there's
again.
that. Yeah, the paper. It was good. But no, this is
Um,
like honestly every like recently between The Simpsons and then The Office, and then there was another collab they did recently as well. I forget which one though. But I'm like, fuck, I kind of want to reinstall Fortnite and just play it again because it is a fun game to play. Like all of this stuff aside, it's a very
yeah.
it's good. It's a good
I
time.
think at this point I played
It's a
more
good one.
non battle royale mode than I did anything like that. Because like I think we played the Lego. What was it
Yeah, we
called?
oh my god, yeah, it's
The
true. We
Rock
played a
Band.
bunch of
Oh
Lego
yeah, and the Rock
Fortnite.
Band.
Yeah, and there's
Yeah.
also the
That
music
Rocket
game
League
as well.
racing mode too. They actually also just announced like a Fall Guys collab as well within it. So it's like fall. It's basically it's like I think it's 3v3 like basketball, but your Fall Guys characters, and it has like that sort of movement and physics, and it looks quite fun as well.
We should give that a shot.
Yeah, I think I might just reinstall Fortnite after this.
No, we
It's a
got
shame we're gonna.
freedom
No
and
man,
liberty.
and it's 3v3. It's perfect. Deep Set is gonna kill himself after this episode,
There you
so
go. Yeah.
Oh my god.
I'll just give you guys the credentials to all these accounts before I go.
I just
What do we
want your
got
PC.
next?
Don't worry about it.
What do we got next?
I was trying to think of a segue this entire fucking time, but I couldn't think of anything. Movie news. We got to see the first look of Sophie Turner as Lara Croft and Jason Momoa as Lobo. Jazz, I'm pretty sure you have a hard on for Jason Momoa, so you must have been pretty excited to see him. A little teaser for him and as Lobo for this new Supergirl movie.
Yeah, I mean, I think he was a fine Aquaman, but I think he was definitely born to play Lobo. I mean, he looks the
Mhm.
part. I feel like this
Yeah.
guy was born, and he's like, oh yeah, this is Lobo. Honestly, everything that I've seen from the movie Supergirl, like I'm cautiously optimistic, but I don't know. I really enjoyed Superman. Right, like I watched it twice. Once in theaters and once just kind of in the background. And I think that the movie holds pretty well. And I like what James Gunn is doing with the new DCU. We'll see if Supergirl is also based on Women of Tomorrow, which if you haven't read that comic series, I highly recommend it. It's insane. It's really really
It's
good.
a very touching story.
It's a very very touching story. So yeah, it's gonna be nice. It's gonna be interesting to see it on the big screen. But yeah, very happy with Jason Momoa as Lobo and Sophie Turner as Lara Croft. Hopefully, yeah, she lives up to Angelina Jolie and Alicia Vikander, because I feel like Alicia Vikander could have done a bit more. They could have done more with her, but yeah, Sophie Turner is a
What's
great actress.
what's so funny, Manu?
What
Nothing.
were you
Sorry, I
what
was.
come on, spill it, Mano. What do you got to say? You don't like Sophie
Nothing,
Turner?
nothing. I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry. Very unprofessional of me.
Or is she not up to par to Angelina Jolie and
No,
Alicia
no,
Why?
no,
Vikander?
Is
Is
no.
it
that it?
do you have a problem with a woman playing Lara Croft for once?
Hold on, what the
As
fuck does
opposed to
that
what?
I don't know.
Oh my
As opposed to
god.
who?
I don't know.
um,
Jason Momoa, no.
Oh yeah, he was born to play Lara Croft. But
Yeah.
yeah, no, Sophie Turner is great. If you guys have seen her in Game of Thrones, then you'll know that she's a great actor. And
I think
Yeah.
of her and I just think of her as
Jean
Sansa.
Grey.
Jean Grey.
Oh,
And,
Jean Grey.
like,
Oh, yeah.
it has the opposite effect. I'm like, I'm not excited.
It's
That
it's a
was a
choice.
shit
It's a
movie.
choice.
Yeah.
I can think of
That's a
many
poor
others.
choice.
We'll see. We'll see how it goes.
We'll
We'll
see,
see.
yeah.
Yeah.
And finally, the last topic of the episodes. I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure actually none of you have seen the Super Mario movie direct today. You have?
No.
I saw the trailer.
I saw the
Okay.
trailer though. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, that's basically what it was.
So then, why are you shaming us?
Yeah,
Come on,
seriously.
man. We
It's
saw
not
the
the first
content.
It's not the first time we.
This guy
Walked
always
into an
thinks we
episode.
walk in unprepared.
Yeah,
and
go
then-
kill
To
yourself.
be fair,
And then we
there's
prove
a
you
good
wrong
chance,
every
Has,
single time.
You're gonna come in unprepared.
Wow. I'm sorry if I had to choose to go ahead and feed and spend time with my child versus look at a Word document.
You're clearly not committed. I don't know what
Yeah,
you're doing here.
clearly.
I'm actually
like you don't
honestly
care.
really 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 excited about this movie. Like
Yeah.
Looks good.
just everything that they've shown so far. the game. I'm sorry. The movie looks to be an improvement over the first. Like the animation looks much improved. Very very colorful. Just and Luigi. We're
I
gonna get
did
to see
find the
more
first movie
Luigi.
quite drab.
It wasn't the best. Honestly, I feel like the movie was way overrated.
The black and white
Oh.
just wasn't a good choice for a Mario movie.
Oh,
Oh my
my god.
It was an overrated movie, though, I must say, but that's just my opinion. But
Too,
yeah, no,
too much red.
getting to see Yoshi as well was
Oh man,
pretty cool.
the Yoshi Island music playing as
yeah.
like so good.
They
Yeah,
I like
I
the fact
noticed
that like
that.
the first trailer didn't show anything, so this time around they're like, let's just give you all Yoshi footage.
I thought they would get someone to voice Yoshi, but he's just Yoshi from the games. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
I was expecting like
Jason Momoa
honestly,
to play Yoshi.
The Rock to play
Hey, I'm
Yoshi.
Yoshi.
yeah, basically. Like I was expecting some celebrity to actually voice Yoshi. I didn't think that they would just have Yoshi be like Yoshi from the fucking games.
I think
Yeah,
I think the
But,
thing
which
is
is like
way too
honestly, I'm okay.
iconic.
Which I'm okay with. I think it's
Yeah.
I'm very okay with that.
I
I'm
It's
just
way
just
too
want them to
surprised.
do a scene where like Mario like has to make a jump, but
Oh, it
betrays
sacrifices Yoshi.
Yeah, that'd be amazing.
I'm surprised they
Well, they have
included
Baby
Baby
Mario and
Mario.
Luigi too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what's up with that. I feel like maybe
But-
they've eaten like a power up or something that like
Yeah.
makes some babies, but it was a cool nod to like Yoshi's Island.
Yeah,
I
100%.
can't
But
wait.
yeah, and this is definitely something where I was like, if you guys are down, maybe even consider watching it in cinema together. But I'm sure y'all
Nah.
are probably gonna go watch it with your significant others.
I'm
Well, we
I
will
will
go
stream
watch-
it when it releases.
We're gonna go watch
I know
Street Fighter,
Taz
though.
will never what? No?
We're gonna go watch Street Fighter.
Yeah, we are.
And Mortal Kombat, don't forget.
Yep.
Yes.
Jazz, I
We
know
would have already
Taz
seen
will
that
never,
if they hadn't pushed it.
I know Taz will never make that drive to go to a theater, but if you want to come, I'll get us 4 tickets.
That's it. Let's do it.
Perfect.
VIP, Brassard, let's go.
100%.
Who's
Sorry,
your
no.
fourth?
And then we're gonna order like the giant ass like fish bowl drink that we got. Fucking
Oh,
halfway
who's your
through
fourth?
and we're lit.
Yeah.
Sorry?
Who's your fourth?
Oh, our significant others?
Oh, okay, so I'm not invited. Cool. Okay, sounds good.
You're gonna drive from Ottawa to
No, it's
He was so excited, man. Like, oh my god, he's not gonna
Alright,
forget
6
this.
tickets.
Well, it's okay. He's gonna go kill himself after this. I don't have to worry about it.
That's true,
Yeah,
man.
you can stick my
Okay, cool.
ticket. It's fine.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's why he said 4 tickets. Okay, that's true.
On that note, thanks for watching.
Suicide.
Oh, you.
Oh, that funny
Oh,
topic.
silly suicide.
You suicidal Sally.
On that note, thanks for watching or listening to another episode of Not Quite High Score. As usual, you guys can send us an email at notquitehighscore@gmail.com. You guys can talk to Paz on our Blue Sky account. You guys can see our lovely faces over on YouTube or at notquitehighscore.com. What else am I missing?
You guys still have until March to write us with an email, and I'll get some artwork commissioned of Jas involving
nipples
cats, Biscoff, and Jas's nipples.
Wait, why don't you adjust your condom on your mic, huh? How about you do that?